Erosional landforms. The term comes from the process in which soils and rocks are removed from the earth by means of wind, water, and rain. How they happen. The wind, rain, and waves slowly cut away at the rocks, causing them to weaken and break and eventually fall. This causes stacks, headlands, and caves. Here are some examples of erosional landforms. I took these photos when I went to Sandringham for the excursion. So, if you can see over here, the rocks aren't all even, and there's gaps and little indents in all the rocks. A good example is over here in this part of the rock. It's sloping in because that's where the wave's been hitting it, and less at the top here because the waves aren't getting that high. So the waves are hitting more here and less up here. So over here, these rocks were near the path, so they would have been more connected to the beach and the cliffs millions of years ago, but now they wouldn't get hit by the waves at all because they're far back. Depositional landforms. Deposition refers to when sand, soil, and rocks are added to the beach. How they happen. Constructive waves push the sand, soil, and rocks up the beach, which creates sand walls and gets further pushed up by the wind and the slope. This is an example of a depositional landform. As you can see, it slopes down as a bit of a hill because the sand gets pushed up, further up, and sometimes when it reaches the top, it might slide down, which causes this hill shape. Human impact. Humans have a lot of impact on the beach, one of which is littering. Littering slowly kills some animals which misidentified food as rubbish. Human objects on the beach. This can cause, again, littering and gets washed up, causing an unnatural ecosystem. Another one is human objects on the land masses. This can speed up the erosional process because of the weight, and it will take away native areas from the animals and plants. Another one is oil spills. The oil spills harm the wildlife by damaging their skin and causing harm if they ingest it. It also can affect the ecosystem of the beach as the sand and rock slowly absorbs the oil. Humans take their dogs to the beach. They scare off the native wildlife and also leave droppings there which are unwanted for the ecosystem. We also eat at the beach. This disrupts the balance of the ecosystem when animals eat it and it comes out. This can also be toxic to other animals. This may also attract unwanted animals that aren't a part of the beach's ecosystem. Fishing. Fishing can disrupt the ecosystem by taking some food away from other animals. As you can see, the dog has a stick in its mouth. Now, it might seem harmless, but the dog must have taken the stick from the bushes, and over time, if sticks and leaves and if that gets getting taken away, then there'll be no bushes left, which disrupts the ecosystem because some of the leaves might be the animal's food, and it's not good. Like I mentioned before, humans also litter a lot on the beach, which is very bad for the ecosystem. Now, in a space of probably a few hundred metres, Luke and myself, with a bit of help of Jack, we collected all this rubbish, and it's really just not good. We found heaps and heaps of cigarette butts and just this plastic styrofoam stuff is really, really bad because it takes ages and ages to break down. And there was also little bits of food like sauce, and there was a few chips and stuff, and the birds just eat that instead of their natural food, and sometimes it can be toxic for them. It's really just not good. Now, as you can see by these signs and rubbish bins, humans are trying to put a positive impact on the beach, but people just choose not to follow it. It's quite atrocious that people are graffitiing on the signs and not using the bins as you saw before. Like, there were bins everywhere along the beach, but people still choose to litter, which is very bad for the ecosystem. Natural impacts. The roots of the plants sometimes hold up the sand, which holds the sand dune. So this is obvious when you see a sand dune and then the bush and all the other foliage at the top. So underneath that, there are the roots which are holding that together. And if we take the plants out, then the sand dunes will slowly collapse and erode. The animals may prey or hunt in each other on the beach. The animal droppings can also be toxic to other animals. Constructive waves deposit sand on the beach, and deconstructive waves take sand away from the beach. Waves also erode rocks. So the waves play a big part in the beach, as I explained before, that the erosion and deposition way and all that. It all depends on the tide and the different location of the beach you are. So like I explained before, the roots of the trees and the bushes, they hold up the sand dunes. So without these, there'd be the sand dunes would more than likely collapse and leaving a lot of sand, unwanted sand on the beach.
Coastal use. Commercial. Beach properties are more soft after causing damages effects on the wildlife/beach, as it may take away land and can also damage the beach. Beach sports attract more people, which may hurt the ecosystem. This is another example of human impacts. Recreational. People go surfing, fishing, and sailing. All of these are examples of which can all disrupt the natural wildlife. Example, boats may cause pollution in the water. The petrol might leak out of the boat, causing the wildlife to get injured, which disrupts the ecosystem. Infrastructure. Building houses or shops along the beach. This can cause the rocks/support underneath to erode or crumble away and takes away the land for the wildlife. As you can see here, the beach over on this side of Sandringham is where dogs are allowed to go off leash. It makes the water look a bit dirty, and the boats are coming in and out, so it's a very busy trafficking area. And here there's a photo of a tyre mark on the beach, which compacts down, creating a little crevice, so to speak. And so that was taken along. This is a wider angle of the shot. Coastal management. Trash and rubbish bins are placed around from the local council. Steps and paths and ramps to direct people where to walk and not damage particular landscapes. Boat ramps for when it is best to access from your boat in the water. There are also signs saying pick up after your dog or where to swim, with a specific area for no dogs, no bikes, riding, etc. As you see here, there's no riding, pick up after your dogs, and rubbish. Now, we saw a lot of rubbish bins all along the beach, which was very good, but we still found heaps of rubbish along the foreshore. They also provide information about the beach to visitors, allowing them to know what and when to do, how to behave, and gives the reasons for the benefits of protecting the beach. Place rocks on the steps of the waves, causing the sand dunes to collapse. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope I gave you a bit of an insight of our Year Out Humanities task.